According to Ipsos, 67% of Canadians say the system is rigged in favor of the rich and powerful. Multiple polls find that between 82 and 89% of Canadians support a wealth tax on the wealthiest Canadians, while Main Street Research says that 65% of Canadians say they do not want an election right now. Everyone can see why Justin Trudeau is about to call this snap election. It is the most obvious, brazen, somewhat sickening opportunism to try to use the tail end of COVID to claim that he needs a majority government that would give him total power for the next 5 years, which through the first past the post electoral system that he did not reform as he promised, he can obtain with about 36% of the popular vote. The last time Justin Trudeau was given a majority government was 2015. He got it campaigning on fighting inequality, fighting climate change, fighting Islamophobia, protecting Indigenous rights, and electoral reform. He had no particular opposition to this agenda. 63% of the popular vote went to either that, the NDP, or the Greens. The first thing he did when he took power was scrap electoral reform. Then he spent $5 billion of carbon tax funding, taxpayer dollars for the express purpose of protecting our environment from fossil fuels, on a massive oil pipeline, removing Indigenous protesters by force along the way. He pushed through Stephen Harper's $15 billion arms deal to the Saudi Arabian government, the very people our Islamic refugees from Yemen are running for their lives from, which Amnesty International found to be illegal. And corporate CEOs made over 200 times, currently 230 times, as much as the median, not the bottom, the median employee. This is the guy who wants total power over the post-COVID economy. Meanwhile, while Canadians are saying the system's rigged in favor of the rich and powerful, while 40 years of neoliberalism have failed so much that both the left and the right are organizing against it, corporate lawyer Erin O'Toole, the leader of the Conservative Party, in the middle of a pandemic, is going around quoting Margaret Thatcher. He can't even get his party to agree that climate change is caused by human activity, while towns in British Columbia literally burn to the ground. And for those who are still not convinced on climate change, and have perhaps been led to believe that we can save costs on environmental initiatives, something that has not perhaps been adequately explained is that because of the massive upsurge of insurance claims from natural disasters in the last couple of decades, the private insurance companies to private individuals have been steadily increasing their rates, citing climate change. We cannot get rid of those costs. And that was before the latest climate report said that the water level rises are irreversible for thousands of years. That was before the record heat wave in British Columbia. They're going to continue to skyrocket. The choice is not whether there will be costs or not. The choice is whether those are private costs paid to private insurance companies as the disasters pile and pile and pile, or whether we have public investment through progressive taxation and national sovereign debt in environmental jobs and public benefits. That's the decision that we have. The Green Party has been in disarray for the entire year. They're polling at about 6%. They're not going to have a serious impact on this election. So the situation is pretty clear. Whether you agree with them on every issue or not, though you almost certainly agree with them on the wealth tax, the thing to do if we want a reasonably fair and democratic and functioning system as we emerge from COVID is to break the Liberal majority government by increasing the number of seats held by the NDP. Shame on Justin Trudeau for the brazen opportunism of calling this snap election.